What is going on, guys? It is Lakers Nation all day. You know how we do it here. It's all about us. And you see it on the screen that we fell short to the Chicago Bulls. Um, we had a chance. We had a chance to win the game. And ultimately, what I believe that this came down to was that we couldn't make our free throws. You saw in the fourth quarter that there are multiple chances for us to really extend our lead or to really come back and just really set our foot in this game, saying that we're going to win this game. But you saw players like Russ miss free throws, right? I know LeBron made a good amount of the free throws in the fourth quarter, but he still missed a couple. Just not going to happen if you're going to shoot 63% from the free throw line against a good team like the Bulls on the road. You're not going to win a game if you're going to shoot that poorly from the free throw line. Um, you know, Before I go into the game, I just want to say this. The NBA needs to suspend their season. The reason why I say that, it's not because, the Lakers are obviously missing like half their team, right? No THT, no Kendrick Nunn, no Malik Monk, no Dwight Howard, no Austin Reeves, no Avery Bradley. And it just kind of annoys me that the Lakers were winning. They were winning games, they had momentum, and now with all these COVID protocols, it's been messing them up. And it's not even just the Lakers that are getting messed up, right? Prior to this game, the Bulls had lost a couple, right? You see teams like the Nets, they're getting messed up. I think Andrew Wiggins today was placed on COVID protocol. 40 plus players have been put on COVID protocol. And to me, it's just a failure in the rules where teams are going to be missing a lot of players, right? And you might think, oh, well, it's just for a few games. Right, you could say that, but at the same time, it messes with their rotations, their momentum, their chemistry, right? The coaches have to scramble. Because they learned last minute, oh, this person's on COVID protocol. Well, guess what? You're going to have to figure out what kind of rotations we're going to have to run, especially considering the other team in terms of what they like to do, how they defend. It's really hard. It's really hard on these teams, and it just annoys me that the NBA has not done anything regarding this. They're just letting these games resume. And even though they postponed a lot of games for Monday, this one wasn't postponed. Obviously, because they met the minimum requirement for the amount of players on each team to play. But what I'm taking a look at is that when we're playing, G League players on our team, right, who have no business being on the court, that's when you should really be postponing games, and you should really start thinking to yourself, yes, it's a risk to be playing with all these COVID protocols, but you have to think about the future too. And the fans who attend this game, they are in risk of catching it from an athlete's. It's a possibility, you know what I mean? So the NBA, in my opinion, has to suspend the season. There's no other way around it. But other than that, let me actually get into the game itself because we had a chance to win. Okay, I'm going to start off with LeBron because he had 31 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists. There were spurts where he was just dominant, right? Like in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, I felt like he was just jacking up a couple of threes that he shouldn't have put up, right? He shot 1 of 7 from the 3-point line. But I'm not going to hold it against LeBron. Obviously, he missed a couple of free throws, and that probably would have made the difference in this game, but I'm not going to put any blame on him because he came out more aggressive today. And had this LeBron showed up, at least in the sense that he was aggressive, we would have beaten Minnesota. But this was not the LeBron that we had last game. But I'm not going to hold anything against LeBron. DeAndre Jordan, I thought he played okay. 9.7 rebounds. It is what it is, right? Russell Westbrook, 20 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. I had no problem with how Russ played. Making a clutch mid-range in the fourth quarter, really being aggressive from the start, right? It was him and LeBron. My only problem with Russ this game is that he missed free throws. And it got to a point where it was in the fourth quarter, whatever the case was. We would have won the game had he just made his free throws. And this is an occurring problem, not even from just this year, but from last year, the year before that. This team can't make their free throws, and I don't understand why. Russell Westbrook, before this season, I think he was about a 79-80% free throw shooter. And he just did not shoot well. This year he's been shooting like 64% from the free throw line. Just not going to happen. Isaiah Thomas, I thought he came off I thought he played well. For the time he played, I liked how he kind of provided a spark when we needed one. I think Isaiah Thomas has officially earned a spot back in the NBA, whether it's with the Lakers or a different team moving forward. I think we're starting to see Isaiah Thomas really prove himself again. And honestly, like, I don't even know why he was out of the league to begin with. Like I mentioned before, that was an MVP candidate. And he put up 52 points in the playoffs when his sister passed away. So when you have a player that's capable of doing that, he should never even be considered getting kicked out of the NBA. But he was, for whatever reason. And then Carmelo Anthony, it was a great game from him. 21 points, 5 rebounds. I mean, he was just going off. Carmelo Anthony, talk about someone who's just making threes, making things happen, right? He went on a run. He made a couple threes in a row, right? 5 of 12 from 3. So that wasn't his problem. I kind of liked what Melo was doing, being that offense. I mean, we missed out on so many of our players, and it's like you start to wonder why the NBA is still resuming. But Carmelo, he did everything he could, so I'm not even gonna bother with him. Trevor Ariza, yeah. You know what? It's just great to see him in a Laker uniform. For all the Laker bandwagons or the casuals, Ariza was a huge part of our championship in 2009, especially in the finals against the Magic, sparking that comeback in Game 4, I believe. He just showed up huge. I think moving forward, he's going to be great for us. He can defend. He can shoot threes. So I'm just happy. That's one less player we have to worry about. And then Rajon Rondo, even though the stat line might not show it, he had 4 turnovers, right, which is not good. I thought he did have his moments where, he made some good things happen in clutch moments. So, I think Rajon Rondo, once again, has the capability of being our secret weapon in the playoffs if we do make it. But overall, I thought that this game could have gone either way, like I mentioned before, but I think what this comes down to is our free throw shooting. And the reason why I'm not as mad as I was the other day when we had lost to Minnesota is because at least this time around we played with effort. But when you don't have like 6 players on your team, and you don't even have Frank Vogel on your team, I'm surprised we even competed with Chicago to the extent that we did. Now, I understand they didn't have Zach LaVine or whatever the case was, but we are in a significantly worse state with the COVID protocols than Chicago is, than any other team in the league is, I feel like. But regardless, the NBA needs to suspend this season because of how bad this is getting. You hear it in the wintertime, it gets worse, and, I feel like every time my phone buzzes, you hear, oh, this person's in COVID protocol. Oh, this person's in COVID protocol. It's time to do the fans right, and for their safety as well, not even just for the athlete's safety, to suspend the season and resume it in like a month or so, because this is not being handled correctly. It's not being handled in the most efficient way possible, and it's messing teams up. You saw a team like the Bulls, right? They started off so well, and granted, they still are doing extremely well, second in the East, but they've been losing more games recently because of the fact that these COVID protocols have been occurring. And same thing with the Lakers, and it's going to happen with the Nets. So I don't want to see this anymore. It's not good for basketball. Literally the other day we saw like a Thunder game or some game like the Nets Thunder. I don't know what it was, but we didn't even know who any of those players were. So what's the point? It seems like they're just doing this for money, and this has got to stop. But moving forward, the Lakers, I can't even I can't even judge them. They gave it their all. They missed their free throws, which is why they lost. But what are you supposed to do? No Dwight, no AD, no Kendrick Nunn, no THT, no Austin Reeves, no Avery Bradley. I'm probably missing a player. Malik Monk? That's 7 players on our team that we're missing. And Frank Vogel. It's just not going to happen. It's just the league is being unfair to these teams, especially to us. So moving forward, something needs to change. But I'm not going to hold this against the Lakers because they went out. Considering the effort they put against Minnesota, you didn't think that they were going to come out and compete the way they did. But I'm glad they did, man. But overall, just on to the next one, right? They're going home. I think their next 8 out of the 10 games are in LA. So that will be good for resting and all those purposes. So hopefully, I don't know what to expect in these next couple weeks. But that's all I have for this video. Drop a like, comment down below what your guys' thoughts were on the Lakers falling short to the Chicago Bulls, and subscribe for more. Alright guys, peace out, and go Lakers.